Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to East Longmeadow High School as we have a rivalry matchup between the East Longmeadow Spartans and the Longmeadow Lancers as girls varsity soccer is underway. And we are off to a quick start here right after the anthem, getting right into the action. Spartans controlling possession. They come in at 0-1 on the season. Longmeadow coming in at 1-1, coming off a big 5-1 victory over Chicopee.
Which ones?
Ball's out of play, so the Lancers will take possession over Chicopee.
Which ones?
Ball's out of play, so the Lancers will take possession. And the pass is sent forward to Kate Campbell, the sophomore. Apologies for any technical difficulty in our audio in order. All the way into the Lancers' end and just kicked harmlessly to the corner by the goaltender, Sarah Renola. So the Spartans will inbound. Just a minute in and still scoreless. Just this game coming immediately following the conclusion of the junior varsity game where it ended at a 1-1 draw. Spartans will try to get this one in once again. And that pass in finds Haley Brown. Shot attempt doesn't get through, but it's last off a Lancer. So the Spartans will try to put it back in. Notice, of course, the inbounds, instead of being thrown in, as usual, instead they're being kicked in due to the limitations put on by the MIAA amid this coronavirus pandemic. This time it'll be Longmeadow putting it in, and a volley of a pass is knocked down on the far side of the field. Spartans will try to switch it towards the near side. That's Sophie Smith. It's played back towards the defense, and a high lob pass, pretty accurate in for Ainsley Smith. Smith crosses it in front, settled down by Haley Brown. Her shot attempt rockets up and through the uprights, out of play. It'll be a goal kick. Awaiting here the Lancers goal kick. Very hesitant to put it in, and finally sent to the far side of the field where it can be controlled and played forward. Tight battle, and trying to come away with it for the Lancers is Trashkovsky. And we got a stoppage. Stay with the Lancers. Gage, I saw you were trying to get your mic working. Is it working now?
Yeah, I just can't hear through the headset, so I'll have one ear out of the muff, but I can hear you in person. Mic's working, so go.
So yeah, I actually don't think I can hear you either. So I wasn't sure if I could either. But
Yeah.
Anyway, Gage, coming in, both teams different paths after their first game. Spartans looking to get back to 500 here at 0-1 coming into this game, whereas the Lancers, they end up winning their first game in a decisive manner. 5 different players scoring. And as they're going to go ahead and inbound this one more time, but 5 different players scoring for the Lancers, that's a pretty spread out attack that Longmeadow has.
Absolutely. I mean, when we were told that we were going to be taking coverage of this game, I looked at East Longmeadow in the previous game against Minnechaug, and I don't know if it was defense was on fire for both teams that game or if the offense just wasn't producing anything, but total, there was less than 20 shots between Minnechaug and East Longmeadow in the previous game, and somehow Minnechaug still managed to score 2 goals and slip away with the win.
It's going to be a foul on Longmeadow, and Spartans will take over. That was our first corner kick of the game. 15:50 remaining in this first period of play. Of course, it's not the same as it would normally run the clock, just 20-minute segments in this game. Pass is played forward, and the Spartans will try to take it the other direction. Good pass forward, and here comes Haley Brown. Brown all alone, a shot, and she scores! Haley Brown, the junior, pots one less than 5 minutes into the game, and East Longmeadow with a 1-0 lead.
I think it was a great shot, great setup, even better. You saw midfield pass leading, And Haley Brown was able to just outspeed the entire defense, get that one-on-one almost to a breakaway. And she, with that little bit of speed, she was able to just push off of the defenseman and get that shot cross body, which was a very impressive shot, but nice goal. And East Longmeadow's up 1-0.
And Emma Catanzarite will get the assist. That was a perfect pass. So Longmeadow looking for a quick answer. Spartans have their first lead of the season and their first goal of the season after losing 2-0 to Minnechaug. What better place to do it in front of the home crowd? As depleted as it is. Spartans deep in their own end, but they will have possession. We'll see how aggressive Longmeadow is.
Number 23, Haley Brown, assisted by number 2, Emma Catanzarite.
So the Spartans get it in. You heard that announcement. Brown with the first goal of East Longmeadow's season. Now the Spartans look to pad their lead, but can't get that pass all the way through. It's knocked down at midfield. Here comes Maeve Jordan. Can't get very far, but second effort by Kuchavia. And the Spartans continue their attack. A physical tackle attempt there from the Lancers, and it ends up paying off, at least in the meantime. Finally, they get it forward, and that'll draw contact and a foul. So up ahead go the Lancers. That pass a little too far forward, though, and it's going to go right back to the Spartans. Just ahead of the streaking Campbell. Now inbounded to Lakasik. Lakasik's able to fight it through. Tanzariti lobs it forward. And the goal scorer, Brown, tried going forward looking for a second one, but she is fouled, and the Spartans get a free kick. 13:30 remaining in this first period of action. 1-0 East Longmeadow. Spartans will play it back. Via plays it to the far side for Michalski. And just able to keep it in is Megan Morneau. Pass is knocked down. Morneau charging forward, but can't get to it in time. And Lancers might have numbers going the other way on the far side of the field. Rodriguez Shaw launches it farther ahead. The last defender back to make a play. And they're going to call it offsides. Spartans might have caught a little bit of a break there, as trying to get one in on net was McKenna Reynolds, but she was just ahead of the play. Passed in to Lakasik. And Sophie Smith turns it over on the far side. But a good defensive play to knock that one down. That was Jordan. Tanzariti looking for another long pass. Probably looking for Brown once more, but instead she plays it safely to Jordan. Kasich knocks it down, and the Spartans keep possession. Seems like it's been all Spartans offensively gauged so far through this first over 8 minutes now of play.
Absolutely. I think the one opportunity Longmeadow ended up having was that offsides break. Close call. I think either way it could have gone either way, but East Longmeadow has been on offense the entire game, and it shows with the 1-0 lead.
Yale will put it in, and the pass finds Lakasik. Her shot doesn't get through the legs of Rosewell. Spartans trying to keep the ball forward, but now another pass attempt looking for Rodriguez Shaw. Played back to the goaltender and steered clear of danger by Mantoni. Spartans come clear with the ball once more. There's a beautiful pass forward, and here comes Brown, maybe a 2-on-1. She's got Smith with her. A shot on net by Brown, and it goes off the outside of the goal. boy, Haley Brown has already had 3 clear shot attempts, and she scored on 1 of them.
I think I was going to say numbers mean everything, but knowing with how her offensive skill is, she's going to just keep shooting. So percentage might on how many shots she takes, how many goals she scores might go down, but still, more shots she gets, more opportunities she's going to get. And I mean, those 3 shots she's had are very clear, very big opportunities for East Longmeadow. I mean, the first one, amazing, and those 2 after were still very great.
Ainsley Smith can't get the cross through, and here come the Lancers. Pass forward intended for Elizabeth Walsh does not get through. But here comes a second effort from the Lancers, and it's Rose Gavather, and she goes down hard. That'll be a penalty. Longmeadow not wasting any time getting the ball back up the field. Campbell's pass, tad bit too far forward, and it's easy pickings for Mantoni. 9:50 remaining in the first. Mantoni trying to decide what to do with it. She ends up putting it down and launches it about 30 yards forward. And the whistle does blow. And see our first substitution of the game. Longmeadow opting to send in Natalie Matz, and joining Matz is Sydney Kasparowski.
And to any of those that were confused on that whistle, due to COVID rulings, they were not allowing headers in men's or women's soccer. So there was a bit of a header. They had to blow the whistle and change the possession. Something
that I'm sure both teams are trying to adjust to, but Kasparowski and Matz check in. And they will be replacing Kate Campbell as well as Nia Trajkowski. 8:45 left in the first. Spartans try to continue putting on the pressure, but Lancers looking for a much-needed answer. Far side of the field, that pass forward is knocked down and sent forward by the Spartans, but nope, they're going to give possession to the Spartans. It looked like the contact was initiated by Longmeadow. At first, I thought Spartans were the ones at fault, but instead it'll be Spartans' ball. Put in by East Longmeadow. Dangerous pass, but Kasich's able to control it, and she will send it forward. Stumbles a bit, but is able to get through to Brown. Brown to the far side. Cross attempt. It's a good one. In on net. The shot. Save made by the goaltender, and it's cleared away. What a look that was, but Sarah Renola in net staying strong and is able to turn it aside. Danger not clear. And finally just kicked out of play by a Longmeadow defender, but the Spartans continue to turn up the heat on this Lancers defense.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a 2 versus 1 there, 2 defenders on 1 attacker, and she was still able to get the shot through. Nice quick save by the goaltender, and then they tried to clear it out, and East Longmeadow was able to keep it in and then push again. Obviously, they got it out, and now it looks like Longmeadow will have the ball.
So quickly, possession back to the Lancers. Lauren Stocks will put it in. And it's quickly turned over. Rosewell is able to force an evasive action by the Lancers. Now give possession right back to the Spartans. That was actually Ainsley Smith making the play to change possession, but quickly Longmeadow gets it right back. .620 now remaining in this first. If you're just joining us, we appreciate you tuning in. Just the second ever live broadcast now for LCAT, the first one being a field hockey game last week. Long pass forward is settled by Smith. Smith with a good cross, but nobody home, and that will go all the way out through the goal line for a goal kick.
This just in, the school committee has approved 2 spectators per pass. So if you're a spectator here and you have somebody in your car that would like to come in, you're allowed to invite them in.
You just heard that big announcement that the Longmeadow School Committee has approved that up to 2 spectators can attend these Longmeadow sporting events. So that's a big breakthrough gauge for a lot of people who have only been sending one parent to watch their games. Now, at least both of them or maybe a sibling can watch their student athlete in action.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember we were talking about this during the field hockey game, but since no visiting parents are allowed, it allows for home field advantage to really take its course, and now allowing 2 parents per student athlete allows for even bigger crowd of home and a more what's the word I'm looking for? Violent home field advantage.
Tanzariti, who already has an assist, got a good look on goal, but a nice save once again by Renola. Hasn't been much action in the defensive end for the Spartans so far. They've been able to have a strong start offensively through the first 15-plus minutes. Brown can't get it through. He's got a little bit of help, though, from Weiss. Sophie Smith looking to make a play. Both teams just trading possession at midfield. Longmeadow gives it right back to the Spartans. And that ball is sent forward by Kachovia. And quite the stalemate at midfield. Finally, Longmeadow looking to get a through ball through. But that one a little bit too far forward. It'll be a goal kick. Another substitution for the Lancers. This time, Kenna McCarthy will enter, and coming off is DiAgostino. Under 3:30 to play in the first. Still a 1-0 lead for the Spartans. Pass to the far side. It's Morneau and stoppage here, and it'll come right back to the Lancers. I think the ball might have been out of play before it was sent forward, Gage.
Absolutely, it was. You could see the ref on the far sideline was moving his hand up and down, indicating the line of out of bounds. You could tell she noticed that she was getting close to that sideline, so she tried to quickly make the pass off, and she just got unlucky. So this is a chance for Longmeadow to get some scoring opportunities going.
.240 to play. Lancers trying to get an established attack. We haven't seen much from them, which is surprising considering they were able to put up 5 goals against Chicopee in game 1 of their season. Unfamiliar territory for them, being behind early. Another substitution. So it's clear that Coach Pantuosco is trying to keep some fresh legs on the field. Spartans making a substitution of their own. Coming off is Weiss. Good positioning to get possession by Smith. That pass is forward. It's going to be a foot race to this one, but Renola smartly comes out to play it. But Spartans first to get to that loose ball. And now here come the Lancers. Natalie O'Connor. Sorry, that's Natalie Matz, rather. Natalie O'Connor being on East Longmeadow, coincidentally with the same number. And on that battle, it's going to be a foul on the Spartans. So with just over a minute left in this first, Trashkovsky, who is back in the game now, will put the ball in. She gets the return pass and chips it forward. A good deflection by Kasparowski. But the Spartans smartly go back and sent out of play by Antoni, just trying to clear it. 35 seconds to play. That pass goes right through the legs. Spartans trying to get it forward. Good layers defensively, but they can't get an attack just yet. Now it's nudged forward by Smith. Ball comes back towards their goal. 10 seconds remaining. Forward looking for Smith, but it's turned over. Sophie Smith gives the ball one last kick out towards midfield, and that will end this first, is it half or period? Or quarter, yeah. Hard to keep track with all these COVID
New
regulations
COVID,
and
yeah.
changes to the rules. But this is the first quarter of action. Spartans take a 1-0 lead after Haley Brown tallies the first goal of the season for East Longmeadow. Gage, what did you see in that first quarter?
I saw East Longmeadow definitely have a nice offensive attack. It's tough to say how East Longmeadow is going to perform on the defense when there wasn't as many opportunities. If they can hold that to be the same for multiple quarters, then they could get lucky and not have to worry about some shots. But one of the key things is going to be looking at Longmeadow and how they're going to approach these next three quarters. They're going to need to start carrying more of the ball towards half field and then kicking it off. They've been trying to make passes, and what East Longmeadow has been very good at doing this game has been intercepting those passes. That's how they got the goal. That's how they've gotten plenty of their opportunities. East Longmeadow try and do what they've been doing. If Longmeadow changes their game plan, they need to adjust to it quickly, and if they do, hopefully they can keep this 1-0 lead or extend it.
So you got another minute before the start of this first quarter. Of course, this not being the only major sporting event going on. The New England Patriots playing the Kansas City Chiefs right now in unexpected Monday Night Football with not their usual suspect at quarterback in Cam Newton, who's sitting out this one. Those looking for a score update, about 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Kansas City has jumped out to a 3-0 lead on a 23-yard chip shot field goal by Harrison Butker. Right now, Patriots have the ball at midfield looking to get on the board.
I heard it like static and then it cut back out again.
So final seconds tick off in this intermission. Spartans will look to take some momentum from that strong first quarter into the second.
If I can't hear him, it's okay. I have one ear out so I can hear him from here.
It's on the cooler side. Temperatures dipping now into the 50s as it seems like with every week we lose about 5 degrees on the temperature outside.
I remember last week we were talking. It was getting right to half, and I said it to you. I was like, I'm comfortable, not too bad. I was wearing shorter length clothing, and now this game I was like, nope, going in, gonna wear sweats. Still gonna act comfortable with how cold we're getting, but the true question is going to be how the athletes are going to feel with how the temperatures slowly start dipping, especially when football, if it gets back in town, when it gets back in town in February. Cold weather, winter weather. The last game they usually play is on Thanksgiving, and now they're playing later than Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's always strange to know, or it's always strange the weather in February, I should say, because you never know. One day it could be close to 0 degrees out. Another day it could be close to 50 or 60.
Absolutely.
That's going to be quite the adjustment. So putting it in for the Spartans to start the second quarter, it's Ashley Boydston. She'll quickly play it back as team switching sides for this second. Haley Brown leaves it back for Morneau. A physical battle results in a foul on the Spartans.
And looking in when the Spartans were getting ready for the ball, you could notice on their formation, they were going with a 4-3-3, and the midfielders were on an attack, so they had 2 higher up. That's going to allow for East Longmeadow to have some more defenders back, but then still have those great scoring opportunities with multiple up front. It looked like Longmeadow also had about 5 backs, so they were trying to go for a more defensive approach with how East Longmeadow has played so far.
Longmeadow unable to do much with that free kick. Ends up going right back to the Spartans. Great looking pass finds Smith. Now Smith surrounded by a wall of Lancer defenders. Pass the near side, it's Morneau. But that will go out of bounds off the Spartans. And it's quickly put back in play by McCarthy for the Lancers. Picked off and sent back towards the Lancers' goal. Here comes Haley Brown. And her shot is deflected. A good hustle defensive play by Rosewell to get back, and that'll force a corner.
It was kind of hard to tell from how the ball got deflected, but it almost looked like she was trying to go for the cross pass, which would have worked beautifully. She had two other teammates coming up, so she would have had a nice scoring opportunity. Even if she was trying to take the shot, it would have worked either way. They get the corner, so now they have more scoring opportunities.
Quickly put in on the corner, and that shot doesn't get very far through. It's last touched, and it's going to be another corner. Not sure if Renola knew if that ball was deflected or not. I think it was, so regardless, it would have been out on the Lancers, but Tanzariti puts it in, gets the return pass, cross in front, knocked down in front, and trickled just wide of the inside post. So good opportunities for East Longmeadow, but the lead stays 1-0 for EL. Lobbed ahead, and that one will go out of play off the Spartans. Now it's in play. And it'll be played back to the Meadow end for Renola. Longmeadow just really struggling to get past midfield cleanly against this aggressive Spartans team. Brown is wide open. She's going to go in uncontested. Another shot on goal. Top corner, she scores. Haley Brown with her second goal in as many quarters. And East Longmeadow with a 2-0 lead.
Nothing to say besides Longmeadow is definitely not looking at where their defenders are. You could see that she was wide open on that pass, and ultimately you're going to have to blame the defense for Longmeadow. They weren't able to notice her. She got in wide open. She got the nice shot. Again, that was across her body for the shot. Nice goal, but Longmeadow defense is definitely going to have to step up if they're going to try and stop East Longmeadow, and let alone Haley Brown.
Spartans had no goals in their opening game against Minnetonka. They already have 2, and we're barely into the second quarter against their arch rival, the Longmeadow Lancers. Longmeadow desperately looking for an answer. Pass forward, and just another good defensive
East Longmeadow
effort.
Goal scored by number 23. Number 23, Haley Brown, assisted by number 8, Ashley Boydston.
Here, Ashley Boydston picking up the assist, the senior forward. And it was one of the easier assists, Gage, because Haley Brown was wide open, streaking down the right side of the field.
Absolutely. I think all Ashley needed to really do was just get that pass off, and then Haley was just going to do it all herself, and that's how she's been this entire game, and we can see her do it almost right here again.
Here she comes down the right side once more, showing some patience. Tries setting up a teammate, and that ball is launched over the crossbar. That was Tanzariti, who assisted on the first goal. Looking for a shot. Not a lot of room to operate, but got way too much underneath that one.
Absolutely. I think, like you were saying, she was able to get the assist, so there's definitely a lot of chemistry built in this East Longmeadow offensive forward line, but with the amount of chemistry they have, and from what we've seen, it looks like Haley Brown might be their star player, goals and assist-wise, as she's trying to allow her teammates to get some nice goals.
Yeah, with more attention being paid to her, it's going to leave some of her teammates open. Spartans looking to add on to their 2-0 lead. They're going to play it way back into their own end. And let's see if that opens anything up. Brown sends it back. A good give and go, and Brown has another opportunity down the right side. Cross looking for a teammate in front, but Renola reads it the whole way and safely comes away with it, looking to roll it out. She'll wait for her team to get set up. As far as goaltending goes, Renola really has just gotten beat on 2 really good shots. She's made a couple of big saves back in the first quarter. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the opposition.
Absolutely. I think Haley Brown on her 2 goals, it was a cross-body shot, so no matter what the Longmeadow goaltender had to do, she was going to have to try and dive for it, and even then that would have been a 50-50 shot.
Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw almost had a clean look on goal, and instead we got a foul back towards the East Longmeadow end, and I think it's going to be on the Lancers. It is. Free kick for the Spartans, and Natalie O'Connor will dribble back with it. Actually, she's just going to leave it for her teammate to put it in. Now O'Connor has it, and another whistle blows, but once again, saw in Longmeadow as they're trying to be more aggressive on the ball. That one was called on Marjorie Black. Lancers play back, nudged forward by the midfielder, that one being Treshkovsky. So we'll see if Longmeadow can take advantage of that. They got an opportunity to send their forwards towards net. And Rodriguez-Shaw's lob pass doesn't get through. She comes to try to help keep it in, but Spartans working their way forward again. Pass is knocked down. Second effort gets through. Retreating back with it are the Lancers. Brown cranking up the pressure. Natalie Matz finds Kenna McCarthy. Black doesn't have a whole lot of room to operate, but it will stay with the Lancers. McCarthy can't kick it through. Brown coming back to help on defense. Just crisp passing so far from the Spartans. Sophie Smith looking towards the right side for Brown. Pass nudges through. Brown just anxious to get in, try to get that hat trick early on, as she's had a couple of opportunities since that second goal. And that one will go out of play off the Lancers. And it looks like they're going to give a rest to Kaylee Lakasik. She's not the only one to come off. Joining her is Boydston, who assisted on that second goal. Trying to spin away from contact is Catanzariti, but she ends up drawing a penalty nonetheless.
And this is going to be the problem with Longmeadow going down 2-0. I mean, in their first game, like you said, they had 5 different players score, so they definitely thought they knew what they were doing. But with them now being down 2-0, the frustration is going to start building. They're going to start making some questionable decisions, and it's going to ultimately cost them longer in the game.
East Longmeadow 2, Longmeadow 2. You're watching girls varsity soccer, the home opener for the East Longmeadow girls team, and it's been a strong home opener for the junior Haley Brown, who has both of the Spartans' goals in this one. 10:20 remaining in this first half. Meadow looking to get on the scoreboard here, something that they are not familiar with after putting up 5 in game 1. Comes a potential opportunity down the far side corner, and they're going to get Kachovia for the foul. Bit of a delay before being put in by the Lancers. See if they treat this like a corner kick with how far down the field it is. And they will. There's a cross. Looking for the header, but it's knocked down by Mantoni. Danger not clear yet, though. There's another shot on goal, and it's going to be well wide past the near side post as an array of substitutions come for Longmeadow. Probably the best opportunity that the Lancers have had all game right there, Gage.
Absolutely. Like you were saying, they were probably going to treat it like a corner kick, and that's what they did. It almost worked, but East Longmeadow definitely knew what they were doing on defense, and they were able to stop it, and here they go with the ball now.
Sophie Smith. And it is kept in with a great hustle play by Gabby Michalski. Racing up to try to get the ball is Brooke Martin. Played back, and Renola almost gives it away to Martin. She's able to sneak it through. A little bit of open space now for the Lancers. Good pass forward by Rodriguez Shaw. And Campbell can't drive that one through. And on they play. Still on the far side with it, the Spartans. Smith nudges it forward. Weiss over midfield. That pass has some topspin on it, gets all the way through. Trying to play it was Martin, but that one will roll harmlessly in to the possession of Renola. Weiss can't keep it in front of her. Pass forward and a good play to evade the defender. Behead Rodriguez Shaw. Pass looking to get all the way through to Camilla Daigle. Haven't heard her name much in this one. Getting her first action, I believe, subbing in here late in this second quarter. Chipped forward and settled. That's Martin. A physical play to get possession back by Rose Gavather. Sophie Smith, Kanzariti. And we get another stoppage. Spartans will have it. Just looking to check in our 3 Spartans. Waiting to go in, that's Morneau, Bridget Jordan, as well as Ainsley Smith. And here come the subs. Longmeadow making changes as well. .6:35 remaining in this second quarter. The Spartans will put it in after these substitutions wrap up, and they do. Just want to give a quick update. If you're looking for girls volleyball, Spartans girls volleyball, head over to our Facebook Live on LCAT. So they're taking on Ludlow. It was a 2-0 lead for the Lions, and Spartans have won the third game after a crazy back and forth, 33-31. So if you're looking for another exciting Spartan sporting event, head on over to Facebook Live on LCAT. Under 6 to play in the first half. Gabby Michalski. Her pass is read perfectly and sent forward there by Rosewell. Rosewell taking advantage of the open space. Pass is knocked down. Good defensive play by Jordan, who has just been put in the game. Mantoni. Head. Tanzariti. Rodriguez Shaw. Now Michalski battling for possession, and she ends up giving a shove to Lauren Stocks, so that'll be Longmeadow possession. Seems like the momentum gauge kind of leveled off a little bit. Both teams just giving the ball back and forth to each other.
Absolutely. It could either, like you were saying, it could either be the momentum's back to a 50-50, or it could be the game plan change in East Longmeadow. Obviously, they have two approaches to this. They can continue to be the offensive forefront that they have been with those 2 goals early on in each quarter, or they can start to go back to a more defensive front. So in case Longmeadow finds any stride that they've been trying to search for these 2 quarters, they would be already prepared in that defensive front.
I'm sure there's a bit of a correlation with that high-paced offense being slowed down a little bit with Haley Brown on the sidelines. If you're just joining us, she has both of the Spartans' goals as they lead it 2-0 with 4:05 remaining in the first half over the Longmeadow Lancers. A rivalry that's been around since 1894. Longmeadow looking to get their first goal of the game still, but that Spartans defense just suffocating. And there's a pass forward, and breaking free is Brooke Martin. Martin moving on in, looking to pass it, and a good hustle play to get back by the Lancers. And down goes Martin. That's actually Ainsley Smith. So here comes a free kick for East Longmeadow, and we'll see what the Lancers do to try to prevent a direct shot on goal. Tanzariti will look to take this kick, but right behind her is Michalski, so could be one of them to make this play. .250 remaining. Officials just making sure everything is properly set up for this. Big change to what we normally see on these free kicks. Nudged forward, and a shot goes on goal, but it ends up deflecting wide to the near side. So good opportunity for the Spartans, but it's snuffed out by the Lancers. Speaking of the Spartans, they'll make a couple of changes as Kasich comes back in. She's joined by Madison LaHouliere. That'll give Tanzariti a rest as well. He said it was last touched by the Lancers, so another corner kick for the Spartans, just their 3rd, I believe, of the game. Both their goals coming off of rushes, not set plays. Kasich's pass forward. And it's easily corralled there by Renola.
Looking onto the East Longmeadow sideline, I can actually see that their sophomore goaltender, Taylor DeFlorio, has just proceeded to start warming up and getting ready. We might be able to see her go in for the start of the second half.
It hasn't been too tough of a task in net for Mantoni. She's made a couple of nice saves, but there haven't been a whole lot of opportunities for this Lancers offense, thanks to a strong performance from the back end by the Spartans. And a lot of that has to do with the forwards getting back and turning turning offense into defense in that scenario. It's a two-way street the way the Spartans have played throughout this first half. Under a minute to go. The Lancers looking for a momentum-shifting goal before the end of the half number 1. So far, still unable to solve this Spartans team. Pass sent forward. And getting tripped up and going down hard is Rosewell. She's a little slow to get up, but looks like she's okay. 20 seconds left in the half. Kate Campbell Getting some help in, another foul committed by the Spartans. 7 seconds. Pass doesn't get through. It's knocked out of play on a good, strong defensive play by Bridget Jordan after 1 half of play. Haley Brown's pair of goals has the Spartans up 2-0 as we head into halftime. Stay tuned, as coming up next will be the second half of play. Can the Spartans hang on and pick up their first win of the year? Find out in just a bit. Second half of action set to begin here from East Longmeadow High School and Gage. First half was not only all East Longmeadow, but it was all Haley Brown with a pair of goals to give the Spartans this 2-0 lead. What does Longmeadow have to do better to respond after really getting outplayed for the majority of that first 40 minutes?
They have to do a mixture of things. They need to increase the defense. They need to get more people back because every time that Haley Brown was scoring, she was open. There wasn't enough defensive backs. There wasn't enough defense in general. I think Longmeadow really needs to work on their defense. And then offensively, when they got their opportunities, they're trying to do these long passes where if it would succeed, they would end up getting a nice goal possibly, or they'd have a really good chance at one. But every time they tried, it would get intercepted and it would go the other way and be a great scoring opportunity for East Longmeadow. So there's a lot of things they need to work on. We're going to see how they perform, and yeah.
Possession quickly goes to the Spartans. Brown back in after spending most of the last 10 minutes of the second quarter on the sidelines getting a breather. Sophie Smith sends a booming aerial pass forward. Good play to knock it down by Weiss, and it finds Brown. Brown tries sending it over her head. Looking to fight through a number of defenders, including Rosewell for Longmeadow. And we got a quick whistle, and it'll be Lancer's ball.
And as I said earlier, before the end of the second quarter, it looks like I was correct. Taylor DeFlorio, the sophomore, has gone in for goaltending for East Longmeadow. Going to be an interesting one to see how she does if shots get on her.
Looking forward, it's Brown. Brown can't quite get a shot on goal, but here come the reinforcements for the Spartans to try to keep the attack on. Smith couldn't quite get there in time. Here comes Kuchovia, and getting some help here from the audience on these pronunciations. My apologies, folks. As the whistle blows, it'll be out of bounds. $18:15 left in the third quarter. Still a 2-0 lead for the Spartans. Pass forward, and it finds D'Agostino. Trying to get the corner, and succeeding is Reynolds. McKenna Reynolds. No space to get that cross through, and just great defensive positioning once again by the Spartans. Tanzariti sent back in by Rosewell. And that one will just roll out of play. There's no reserve ball on hand, so the Spartans have to go run it down. That's Jordan going back to get it. So Maeve Jordan will put it back in play. Left-handed pass is knocked down, and she'll have to just put it right back in. This one gets through, and it's nudged forward by Smith. Tanzariti drops it back. There's Smith. Pass all the way to the far side and sent all the way forward by Morneau. Brown, and Tanzariti is able to knock down. Brown charging forward. It's going to be a close battle. She breaks it up. Finds a wide open defender. It's chipped in. So Haley Brown, instead of scoring, ends up picking up an assist, and Ainsley Smith makes it 3-0 for the Spartans.
Well, it looks like East Longmeadow determined what they were going to do when they got into the second half. They were not going to go back defensively. Obviously, they had some opportunities that were thrown at them. They stopped them, but they were going to continue the offensive forefront, and it works. As we see Haley Brown, instead of scoring a goal, she gets an assist, and now she's almost on track to get a mark under each portion of the score sheet.
Winning plays once again by 23 in red. And the Spartans, after having all sorts of struggles offensively against Minnechaug already with 3 goals on the board.
Spartan goal scored by number 20, Ainsley Smith. Unassisted.
So they're going to call unassisted, but still Brown's defensive pressure leads to another Spartans goal. And here comes Spartans once again. Longmeadow looking gassed right now. That through ball tries finding Brown, but here comes Smith to help out. Be a foot race, but waiting for it. It's actually Michaela Reynolds who's in net now instead of Renola. Both teams actually making goaltender changes as you alluded to before half, Gage, Taylor DeFlorio is now in net for the Spartans.
Absolutely. I think Longmeadow with their goaltending change, it could be needed. We don't know. East Longmeadow obviously already scored the one on her, and they scored 2 on the other goaltender. So it's going to be interesting to see if any substitutions or any changes would happen. And East Longmeadow is now just going to start seeing how they can do defensively to make sure they can keep this lead and get their first one of the season.
So the sophomore goaltender DeFlorio booms this one. It hops over the head and finds Brown. Brown trying to self-pass, but she gets some support from Weiss, and Weiss just barely couldn't keep it in play. So this one will come all the way back. East Longmeadow 3, Longmeadow nothing. We know the big rivalry between these two schools on Thanksgiving Day for football. It won't be a Thanksgiving Day game this year, but still, the rivalry runs throughout all of high school sports. I remember how fierce it was even in just golf, which may seem a little boring to some people, but every single time we played the Lancers in golf, it was just a real tight battle, especially when it came down to the playoffs in Western Mass.
Absolutely. I think even my freshman year, we would play Longmeadow twice in basketball, and it got down to a very dirty game, nitty-gritty. It was, even for basketball, a lot of times it's nice, flashy passes, sometimes some nice shots. But me being one of the centers and playing up against that Longmeadow team, it was definitely a nitty-gritty, it's you or the other team, and it was very interesting.
Rivalry still means something even in these tough times. There's a pass forward and a close play, but a good hustle effort to get there by Michaela Reynolds. She wastes no time putting it forward for her defense. They'll try to lead a rush out and just try to get something going against the Spartans. And as a real physical play, and foul's going to be called. That was Natalie Matz who went tumbling down to the turf. That turf definitely again, the Lancers have a real bitter rivalry, especially in hockey. It seems like every year they are always having a real chippy game up at Olympia and West Springfield. 12 minutes to play in this third quarter, still a 3-0 lead for East Longmeadow. Rodriguez Shaw trying to fight it free, and that effort pays off as Longmeadow gets possession back. The defense, Rosewell, jumping up into the play. But not much happening. And there's some open space for the Spartans. Maeve Jordan looking to get it forward. Brown trying to out-hustle Gavather. And a little bit of contact made, and I think it was initiated by Haley Brown. So it'll come back the other way for the Lancers. Pass forward finds Rodriguez Shaw, and that's a beauty of a pass all the way down. Here comes Walsh, but an aggressive play coming out by DeFlorio, and she smartly finds Jordan to clear the ball out of danger. Heads-up play by the sophomore goaltender who didn't play at all in that first half.
And she ended up not playing in the first game either. It was all bench for her, which, with her, in her eyes, it definitely was a disappointment to her, but she obviously gets her opportunity in one of the biggest games that they've having right now.
Rosewell goes down hard, and on they play. No whistle blown. I think a lot of people were waiting for one and never came. Meanwhile, far side of the field, Brown battling, but a good play to send it back by Gavather, who's had a pretty strong defensive half for herself. That pass cut off by Kasich, and it's nudged out of play. Almost halfway through this third quarter now. Again, 4 20-minute quarters, the format of this season. I believe that's a change from the norm, if I'm not mistaken, from what it usually is. Gage, I think you might be able to fill me in on that.
Yeah, I think they would go to the halves as they did in all other sports like college and whatnot. But one key difference that I noticed was the additional time that it goes on between each half. They're not adding that, so it's just going to be running clock. Once the time's up, it's up, and it's done.
Right. Here's Rosewell. Good to see that she's back on her feet after taking quite the fall. The Spartans smartly utilizing goaltender DeFlorio, and just another high IQ pass by her. Danger not clear yet as Sophie Smith has to come back and help, and that ball is sent all the way into the corner, and it'll be dug out by Morneau. Morneau narrowly keeps it in play on the far side, and that ball is kicked off a Lancer's leg and out of play. That was Weiss trying to advance the ball upfield. Those plays on the far side certainly testing the prescription of my glasses. Starting to make me question if I need a new one. So we approach the 8:30 mark now in the third quarter. Here's a decent opportunity for the Lancers. They'll have a free kick just past midfield. Waiting to check in for Longmeadow is Lauren Stock. She was in that starting lineup. And she has had a relatively quiet game, being I shouldn't say so. She's actually been on the defense throughout the game, so hasn't been too quiet back there. Spartans put it back in play. They're looking for a way out of their own zone, and they get a little bit of space as Maeve Jordan throws it off of the foot of McKenna Reynolds, and that ball ends up out of play. And quickly, possession goes back to Longmeadow. Spartans, led by head coach Terrence Leahy. They are a little over 27 minutes away from their first win of this 2020 season. I'm sure it's something they've been waiting for a long time, given this long layoff. And they're going to get a shove there on the Spartans. That was Kachovia. Quick give and go for Longmeadow, putting it back in play. Dravskovsky can't get it through, and she'll just cut off that forward pass, looking for Smith, who picked up the most recent Spartans goal here in this third quarter. And the goal scorers in that 5-1 or 5-2 rather win for Longmeadow over Chicopee. It was DiAgostino, Gavather, Jamie Greenman, who we haven't seen at all really in this game, or haven't heard from, that is, Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw, and Trashkovsky. So it's a balanced attack, but no attack at all throughout this first 46 minutes. And here's another opportunity for the Spartans. Ainsley Smith, the cross in front. Not much of an angle, though, for Brown, going for her hat trick, and it will go off of her and out of play for a goal kick. But it's those type of opportunities, those lead passes, that the Longmeadow Lancers simply haven't had throughout this game.
Absolutely. They've definitely tried to get them, but the East Longmeadow defense has been there every single time. Every long pass the Lancers have tried to make, the Spartans were just like 2 steps ahead of them. They were able to stop it and instantly get onto the attack.
Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw. To the near side, it's Stocks all the way forward for Reynolds, but a little too far forward. Another goal kick. DeFlorio goes back to retrieve it. Takes up a decent amount of time, and sometimes that's the case with only a few soccer balls out there for access. I'm sure that to limit some contact as well. Lancers try the far side of the field. Katie Campbell under a heavy amount of pressure. She actually gave it off to Black. And Black is unable to keep it in. We got late contact as going down hard was a Spartan. And the Lancers have it. Rodriguez Shaw can't get it. And there's a lead pass forward. And guess who? Haley Brown streaking down the right side. Looking for a shot on net. Here it is. It's a one-hopper, and it is easily stopped by Reynolds. Reynolds tossing it in towards the left side. That's got to be close to 6 shots on goal now for Haley Brown. And it may not seem like a lot, but they have been some quality scoring chances. And, of course, 2 of them have gone in. And it won't show up on the score sheet, but one of them led directly to that 3rd goal by Ainsley Smith. So big games for both juniors. A pretty heavy junior class that this Spartans team has, so we'll see a lot of these players returning next year being even better after another year of experience and hopefully under different circumstances. Under 3 minutes left in the 3rd. And Aiden Maeve Bradley will check in. That will bring out Weiss. Meanwhile, Longmeadow can't keep it in play. Spartans wasting no time getting it forward. Lakasik with a shot on net, and it is in! What a shot and what a goal. Just launched. And that was actually, I think that was Sophie Smith actually who ended up putting that one in. It was hard to tell whether it was 5 or 6, but regardless, an absolute rocket. It's 4-0.
I have nothing to say. Like you were saying, I think East Longmeadow officially found the offense that they were looking for in game 1. Now they got it in Longmeadow. But if I was East Longmeadow, I'd be wishing that some of these goals they're scoring now were able to win in that Minnetonka game.
So Sophie Smith picks up the 4th goal of the game for the Spartans. That one definitely the furthest one and just an absolute bullet of a shot. Spartans not letting off the gas pedal here.
Spartan
2 minutes
goal,
left.
Scored by number 6, Sophie Smith. Assisted by number 9, Megan Morneau.
Morneau picks up the assist. There's a lob pass forward. It's sent all the way back, and that prevented Brown from getting an opportunity. There's pass in front, but Brown can't get there in time. Longmeadow scrambling right now on defense as the Spartans continue to surge. They scored 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, and now 2 so far in the 3rd with 1:35 left. Lakasik looking to get something towards the middle. Brown knocks it down and sends that one sky high, and it will clear everything and end up going out of play for a goal kick. So yeah, Megan Morneau picking up the assist on that Sophie Smith goal. I think that one really caught both Reynolds and the Longmeadow defense by surprise. So on a goal kick, it's just played back by Longmeadow. Fed forward, Rosewell. Knocked down, cut off by Lakasik. And there's Smith to Brown. Brown with a nice forward pass, but it's pretty well read on defense by Catherine Policia. So another goal kick for the Lancers. 22 seconds left in the quarter. That ball curved, and it ends up finding Stocks. Stocks, though, gives it away to Jordan. Looking quickly with 10 seconds left and unable to find anything was Reynolds. Rosewell can't get it through. And that is the end of the third quarter. So the Spartans came into the second half with a 2-0 lead. They double it in the third quarter thanks to goals from Ainsley Smith and Sophie Smith. Gage, probably the best quarter so far played by the Spartans.
Absolutely. I think they weren't going to, I think going into the second half, the coach probably said, hey, we just need to look at our defense a little bit better, but otherwise continue to step your foot on the gas. And that's exactly what they did. They continued to step their foot on the gas. They got that third goal pretty early, and then they got that fourth one, fairly in the middle of the third quarter. Otherwise, looking at Longmeadow, depending on what your game plan is, if it was to go all defensively, I would ditch it. I would personally just try and get the offense scoring. You're already down 4. We've got 1 quarter left. You have to try and get back into this game and get back into this game quickly. If you're East Longmeadow, I would continue to step on the gas. Even when you catch yourself in a bad defensive situation, they manage to save themselves, and they manage to, what some people would probably say, oh, that's lucky. No, that's just how East Longmeadow has been playing. There hasn't been any luck. It's just been their skilled players just understanding what they need to do, and they're doing it correctly. So for Longmeadow, it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see how they're going to play for this last quarter.
Yeah, maybe try to get some momentum into their next matchup. For the Spartans, just very welcome to see this type of offense after not being able to find the back of the net in their first game against Minnechaug. And Gage, that's kind of just how soccer can be, really. One day you have all the offense in the world, and other days you just can't find anything to get any good looks on net. And clearly that's not one of the days today for the Spartans, and it looks like it is one of those days for Longmeadow.
Absolutely. I think Longmeadow right now might be tasting a little bit of their own medicine that they gave off in their first game. Like we were saying earlier, Longmeadow was able to come out of a victory in game 1 in their first game, 5-0, and now it looks like East Longmeadow is on their way to possibly win this game without a single goal being allowed. And I haven't been keeping track of shots, but it's almost, if it's at double digits, it's not that high off. So a lot of defensive success for East Longmeadow, a lot of poor decision making for Longmeadow. Again, like I was saying, it's going to be interesting to see what Longmeadow does with these 20 minutes left and down by 4.
Again, 5-1 was the win against Chicopee for this Lancers team, and right now they're on the other end of a blowout, and they'll look to bounce back. Again, still 20 minutes left to play. It's going to be tough to notch 4 goals in that much time, but they will look to bounce back if the score holds up.